Hey there, gearheads. Data Dive here, and let's talk about the electric vehicle revolution. It's happening fast, folks. More and more people are switching to electric cars. With this shift, we're seeing a surge in EV charging stations across America. It's like watching a network of gas stations pop up, but for electrons. This growth is driven by a few things. First, people want cleaner cars. Second, EVs are becoming more affordable. Third, the technology keeps getting better. We're talking longer range and faster charging times. This increase in charging stations is great news. It makes owning an EV more convenient. You can charge your car at home, at work, or on the go. No more range anxiety. This growth also shows that we're moving towards a greener future. Electric cars mean less pollution and cleaner air for everyone. It's an exciting time to be a car enthusiast, and I'm fired up to see where this electric revolution takes us.
Now, let's break down the different types of EV charging stations. Think of it like this. Just like there are different ways to fuel up your gas-powered car, there are different ways to charge your electric car. There are 3 main levels of charging: Level 1, Level 2, and DC fast charging. Level 1 is the slowest. You can plug your EV into a regular wall outlet. It's like using a garden hose to fill up a swimming pool. It works, but it takes a while. Level 2 is faster. It uses a dedicated charging station like the ones you see in public places. Think of it like using a larger hose. DC fast charging is the fastest way to charge your EV. It's like using a fire hose. You'll find these stations along highways and in cities. They can give your EV a significant charge in a short amount of time.
Now, building all these charging stations takes a lot of work. Thankfully, the government is stepping up to help. Both the federal and state governments are offering incentives and grants to encourage the expansion of EV infrastructure. They know that a robust charging network is key to the widespread adoption of electric vehicles. These incentives come in different forms. Some are tax breaks for businesses that install charging stations. Others are rebates for individuals who buy electric cars. There are also grants available for companies that want to build and operate charging networks. This government support is crucial. It helps to make EVs more affordable and accessible to everyone. It's a win-win situation. We get cleaner air and we reduce our dependence on fossil fuels.
Section 4. Key players in the EV charging market. Speaking of charging networks, there are some big players you should know about. Companies like Tesla, ChargePoint, and EVgo are leading the charge, so to speak, in building and maintaining these networks. Tesla, as you know, is famous for its electric cars, but they're also building an extensive network of supercharger stations exclusively for Tesla owners. It's like having your own private gas stations across the country. ChargePoint is another big name. They operate one of the largest charging networks in the world, with stations compatible with most EV brands. Think of them as the universal gas station for electric cars. EVgo is another major player. They're focused on building fast charging stations along highways, making long-distance travel in an EV more convenient.
Section 5. Convenience and challenges of EV charging. And that brings us to the convenience factor. For short trips around town, charging an EV is a breeze. You can plug it in at home overnight, and you're good to go in the morning. It's like having a gas station in your garage. But for long-distance travel, it can be a bit more challenging. While charging networks are expanding rapidly, there are still some gaps, especially in rural areas. And even with fast charging stations, it still takes longer to charge an EV than it does to fill up a gas tank. This means you might have to adjust your road trip plans a bit. But hey, that's part of the adventure, right? Plus, with more and more charging stations popping up every day, this challenge is becoming less and less of an issue.
Section 6. A greener future. Environmental impact and cost considerations. Now, let's talk about the environmental impact. One of the biggest benefits of EVs is that they produce zero tailpipe emissions. But what about the electricity used to charge them? Well, it's true that electricity generation can still have an environmental impact, depending on the source. However, even when charged with electricity from fossil fuels, EVs still produce fewer emissions overall than gas-powered cars. And as we transition to cleaner energy sources like solar and wind power, the environmental benefits of EVs will only increase. Of course, we can't talk about charging stations without mentioning the cost. Installing and maintaining these stations can be expensive, especially the fast-charging ones. But the good news is that costs are coming down as technology improves and production scales up. So there you have it, folks. The EV revolution is well underway, and charging stations are leading the way. With government support, innovative companies, and growing consumer demand, the future of electric vehicles is looking brighter than ever. And I, for one, am excited to be along for the ride.